playing the Vikings. So naturally, you're going to gravitate towards thinking about Justin Jefferson, who's leading the league in receiving yards at 543. But not necessarily the receivers who have eaten this up. It's been the tight ends. That's been a common theme this week for us to talk about on the show. I looked up, dug in a little bit. Our defense is giving up about 5 catches for about 45 yards on the season to the tight end position alone. And I think the interesting part is we're averaging about 6 targets a game to the tight ends, and we're giving them about 5 catches. So there's pretty much when you go to the tight end, there's pretty much no stopping. I mean, obviously we're averaging 5 catches and 6 targets a game for the tight ends. But this week we talk about Justin Jefferson, but this week we're talking about the highest paid tight end in the league, and TJ Hockenson. He's the league leader in receptions, and he's number 3 in yards. When I was doing the dive, I mean, the things that jumped out at me about the tight ends were, if you look at the league leader in receptions, JD, TJ Hockenson is number 1. Then you look at the other 2, Evan Ingram and Sam Laporta. What's the common thing there? We play both those guys, and these guys are the top 3 and top 2 in tight ends, and then we're playing the other one. And then I looked at yards, so he's 3rd in the league in yards for a tight end. Who's above him? Sam Laporta and Evan Ingram, 2 guys who played already this season. So we're playing. We're also maybe contributing factors to some of these guys having the seasons they're having for the 1 games they played against us. But JD, talking about being a tight end, obviously, you know what can stop a tight end. You know what defenses can do to kind of mitigate what a tight end can do. If you were going up against TJ Hockenson, knowing what we've done against these other tight ends and how they've kind of eaten us up, last week the Jets had a bunch of different tight ends who kind of ate us up a little bit. What would you be doing this week, especially when you're playing against an offense that has Justin Jefferson and TJ Hockenson? How would you go about mitigating TJ Hockenson, and how is there a way you could be able to stop both, or is there a way you can even stop both? You'd have to kind of choose one.
Well, I mean, I don't think you choose one. I mean, you try to do both. In the reality, our strength is our corners, D line on the inside, especially in the passing game. We need to generate a little bit more pressure on the defensive ends on the outside, and we need to do a much better job of covering the tight ends from the linebacker and safety standpoint. Okay, teams know that's going to be that we don't have the best of linebackers covering tight ends, or even our safeties. Justin Reed is a very good safety. He is kind of a smaller guy. So for tight ends, we look to try to body up a guy that size, being a safety. We do. To us, it makes it easier because we can just post up. We can come out our route. Those guys got to get through our body. A little bit more difficult with linebackers. The linebackers just got to put their hands on a guy. You got to put hands on a guy early. So the more that you're fighting with a guy, I always hated when linebackers come in and it's always handsy and trying to stop you like that. That's what you can do with tight ends, is try to hit them as much as possible. Try to beat their hands up as much as possible. And so I'm hoping, Willie Gay, Bolton's going to be back this week. Hopefully, I mean, he's still on the list, but hopefully he'll be back this week. And Drew Tranquil does a good job of covering guys. We just got to be a little bit more physical with these tight ends than we have been. And here's the thing. All those tight ends, the one that you spoke of, Evan Ingram don't like physical stuff. He hates it. Okay. Laporta's a different animal altogether. TJ Hockenson, same thing. He don't like that, that type of physicality. So we need to be physical with these guys. So to me, that's what you do. You got to be physical as much as possible. Now, like I said early in the segment about, them trying to beat up Travis Kelce, we got to do the exact same thing with their tight ends. And I'm talking about every chance you get, tug, pull, hit, beat up while you can, okay, to negate everything that what his ability does. TJ Hockenson is the highest paid tight end for a reason. He's not better than Travis Kelce, in my opinion, not at all, okay? But he's a great tight end. So I'm not taking anything away from him. So the thing is, you got Justin Jefferson. That's a huge task out there. It's huge, okay? We got a monstrosity on our hand trying to deal with him, okay? And what you do with him, you got to bracket cover to him as much as possible. You got to try to physically him up too. He's got a really skinny body, but if you don't get your hands on him, open up, man. He'll eat your lunch. So I think it's what you have to do, man. You got to try to bracket, double cover, cover 2, whatever you have to do against him, and then also too with the tight ends, man. You just got to get physical with them, man, and beat them up.
Is that, based on what you've seen so far, is that a lack of what you're seeing out there? There's a lack of this, like, getting in their face and kind of like being handsy with them?
You know what? To be honest, the teams that we had, because you can do a lot of play action because of they're obviously who they had in the backfield, right?
It's true.
So that helps with bringing the linebackers up because they got to read the play first, okay, and then of course the tight end gets behind them, so that affects everything. But yeah, Willie Gay's got to do a much better job. We sometimes get lost in space a little bit. He's not the best at covering tight ends. He's got a lot of speed. He got closing speed. Once he recognizes something, he's got that athletic ability to go get it.
Yep.
Okay, just the initial thing of just recognizing everything is the issue. So we know that their running game hasn't been very good. Okay, ever since Dalvin Cook has left. So I don't think we worry about as much as the run as we do the pass. Okay, and so that I think if we hold everything on the line, we should be fine. Should be a problem.
Yeah. The one thing I will say, Minnesota, the running game hasn't really looked great this year, but they have Madison, talented back, and also they just got Cam Akers 2 weeks ago. So they have two guys who are capable, so that's something that they shouldn't sleep on as well.
No, they shouldn't. I don't know, man. I got Cam I held him as long as I could. But he's a guy, he could catch the ball out the backfield. He could do a lot of different things. I still think that's going to be their forte is throwing the football more than running it. Yeah. So, like I said, everybody up front do a good job, then we'll be fine. Look, don't talk about him a lot. Did a pretty decent job last game. Heck of a job. So we need another performance from Nandi. Okay, need to see you, big fella. Another good performance from you.
Yep. No, I agree. Yeah, he stepped up this year. He looks really good. He looks like a guy who's on a 1-year deal. JD.
Yeah, no, shoot, hey man, go get paid. Do what you need to do. But we need some more attitude like that, big fella. Okay, need some more attitude like that.
Yeah. Earlier, Mike Edwards was talking at presser. He said, talking about Justin Jefferson, quote, tackling, swarming to the football is the best way to slow down Vikings wide receiver Justin Jefferson. He's going to get his because he's a good player, but it's all about limiting the damage. That's what he said about Justin Jefferson.
Hey, you can't stop him. Just hope to contain him. That's it, right?
Yeah.
Hey, he's a dynamic player, man. He is dynamic.
He's a bad boy.
Yes, he is.
I'd love a guy like that in our offense, JD. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.